Hi, everyone. It's Lynn from Devine Central, and I am here with video 16, my final video in my series on reading professionally at fairs and festivals. So I hope that you have liked this series so far. What I want to do today is just give you a few parting words of advice, things that I hope will help or benefit you in some way. And also, I want to give you my five favorite books on the business of tarot, the ones that I felt were helpful to me when I first started out. All right. So before I give you the first one, if you have liked this series at all, please like this video right now so that other people can find it. And if you are just starting out and you need some help with practice, please check out my Etsy shop. I have live practice sessions that are very reasonably priced. I also have some practice questions, practice readings. Just go to the Etsy shop. It's down below. Find it. All right. Advice number one: network with your tribe. Find your people, whether it's in the shows or outside of the shows. I'm thinking more now is at the shows. Okay. And be aware of psychic vampires. Okay. That's going to be people attendees who just want to sit there and visit with you and suck up all your time away from people that might be potential clients, or people that ask so many questions that they don't need a reading by the time, they're done, getting the answers from you. But also, likewise, be very much aware of other vendors either don't want to see you succeed, or they are so bored themselves that they decide they're going to take up all of your time at your table and keep you from being able to be successful in reading. There comes a time when somebody even looks cross-eyed at you at your table. If you're talking to somebody else, excuse yourself from a vendor and walk right up to those people. But don't let anybody keep you from being successful. Okay, number two, have an elevator pitch ready. What that means is when I come up and I ask you, I'm new, I've never had a tarot reading. Can you tell me what that's all about? You have a 15 to 30-second pitch ready to go and to explain to them in a way that's going to make them want to come into your booth. And you practice it over and over until you have it down pat without thinking. All right, I've addressed this in previous videos. Number three, don't be a slug. Get on your feet and mingle with people, for God's sake. And whatever you do, do not eat in your booth. There's nothing that agitates me more than seeing people stuffing their face, to reading a book, texting, and carrying on and not making eye contact with people that are walking by your booth. Most people will keep walking. They are not going to want to, they're not going to want to bother you. They're not going to want to, interrupt you. So they will keep walking. And so it's a real Debbie Downer. Don't be doing that. I have a huge mandala background for my booth. And if I have to eat, I eat behind the booth. I leave the plate behind the booth on my wagon and slip back there and grab a mouthful if I have to. Or I leave. You just put up back in 10 minutes sign and get the hell out of there. And don't do that. Brand yourself. Number three. I'm sorry. Number four. Brand yourself with a byline that people will remember. Now, I use finding positive solutions in a complex world on all of my stuff. My friend D is tarot by D. I'm just the messenger. That's her little thing. You can find a byline on most professional websites. And in fact, I invite you to go and write down all the bylines that you can find on other people's professional sites and find the one that you like and that really resonate. Write them all down and then find the key words in all those that they have in common, the words that you like, and then put them into artificial intelligence. I use Bard, BARD.com. Plug them all in and say, give me a byline for, this, for your business name. And let artificial intelligence come up with it for you. All right. Number five, I want to talk to you about reading for children. Okay. Don't be afraid to read for children. That's ridiculous. You don't actually read for children. They read for you. And I will always make sure that I bring a deck that is, a child's deck, something simple and easy and that you can use in case somebody walks up and puts a 9-year-old child in front. I give them the same amount of time. I charge the same amount of money. but I certainly have a lot more fun with them than I do with the adults. Like I said, I'm more afraid of the parents. I want to tell you a story. One of my very first parties, private parties that I read at, the host sister brought her 9-year-old daughter, and it was the second week in August. Kid was in a cast. She sits the daughter down in front of me and says, "My daughter wants to know if she's going to make it on the gymnastics team this year." And I'm telling you, I wanted to take the mother out back and beat her to a pulp. I thought that was the meanest thing I'd ever seen. And I was horrified by it. But I was up for the task. We laid out the cards. We picked out the cards together, laid them out. And it was, okay, well, what's going to happen if you do make it on the team? And what could happen here if you don't make it on the team? And we kind of went through all the cards, and she was adorable, and I don't know if she ever made it on the team or not, but I thought that was parents can be very mean-spirited, especially if they want you to be the bearer of the bad news. So but don't let that make you afraid of reading for kids. So number 6, read based on your own ethics. Everybody has ethics. Everybody has rules out there. Everybody thinks that you ought to be doing it a certain way. And I would ignore all of them and do it your way. Read on whatever you want to read on. And if you feel like something makes you uncomfortable and you don't want to read on it, then you don't read on it. If everything makes you uncomfortable and you don't want to read on anything, then don't be a tarot reader at an event. I mean, if you either have your ethics or you don't. But do try to work from an ethical standpoint, because I promise you this, the universe keeps perfect score. You want to read with an open heart and an open mind, and you want to be honest and sincere with people. So that's my advice. Number 7, finally, I'm a firm believer in doing one thing and doing it well. I happen to read tarot, but tarot is not my only, it's not my only form of divination. It's not the only modality that I study and practice and read. I like crystals. I read Lenormand. People have runes. They have astrology. They have all kinds of other things. Have a secondary divination practice available to you so that if you show up at a show, for example, and there's a whole bunch of cheap tarot readers or too many tarot readers, have something else that you can at the last minute put up there. Bring the marketing material for it just in case. I always keep it in my bag. But in the event that I get to a show and there's a whole bunch of readers or too many cheap readers, I'll switch to Lenormand, and I will make that. So differentiate yourself by providing something other than tarot, and that will save the day, because people only want so many tarot readings. It's like, oh, here's someone different. They're reading crystals or they're reading astrology, and they will come to you. The last thing I want to provide to you today is a list of my, I don't know, I'm going to say my favorite books on the business of tarot. And I'm not going to give them to you in any specific order. I'm just going to lay them out here to you. Benabel Wen has a lot of, she has a lot of books out. She has an amazing website that has a ton of free information at benabelwen.com on the business of tarot. And she has all kinds of forms and contract blanks and just a ton of stuff. And I'm going to put all of this down in the listings below so you don't have to write any of this down. Jenna Matlin. Okay, this is the author of several books. Two of my favorites are Have Tarot Will Travel, and that's about doing these events. Have Tarot Will Party, and that's about doing, private parties, corporate events, and that kind of thing. And they're chock full of information. It's really, really good. And again, a lot of this is totally different than what I've hit in this series. I found an ebook called Tarot for Profit by Peter Morris. And it had a lot of the same information that the previous two have, but at the same time, it was worded different. It was a different approach, and I thought it was really worthy. So I'm adding it to this list. Fortune Stellar. Ooh, Christiana Gaudet, just one of my favorite all-time tarot masters. And if you have not been to her website, if you have not seen all of her YouTube videos, she's amazing. And I have the first Fortune Stellar book. She has since put out an updated second edition, and I have not read it, but anything she does is brilliant. And then I want to give you a little one that's kind of off the beaten path. It's called Stray Tarot: How to Survive as a Tarot Reader. And it's by Vincent Petici. And Vincent is just a very unusual character all on his own. And so it's kind of a, a little bit of a journal about, his travels through doing professional readings. I hope this has been helpful to you. Again, please like this video if you're so inclined. It's how I get people to my channel. And I am getting ready to go back to instructional videos, combinations, other things. If there's something you'd like to see, please let me know. Thank you again. And I will see you on the other side. New videos.